welcome to my channel. My name is Brandi. I own a small business called Stitch of My Dreams. It focuses on crocheting and sewing, and I'm making this video on how to find markets. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, small business videos, and I always see people saying, how do I find markets? So hopefully this helps. A little bit about me and my business. I started out in 2016 sewing bikinis, and I sold them on Etsy, and I made custom bikinis where people could pick out their prints and their styles, and I would make them and mail them through Etsy. And I did some markets at the time. I was living in San Diego, and I did a few markets there with my bikinis. But when I came back to Virginia, I started doing a lot more markets, and we have a longer, colder winter period here. And of course, bikinis weren't doing well in the winter, so I was like, I need to make something else so I can sell all year long. And so I just tried a bunch of different things: polymer clay, jewelry making, shell decor, home decor, art with driftwood. I made the glasses with the transfers on them. And then I taught myself how to crochet. I fell in love with crocheting. It's a little bit similar to sewing. So I decided to focus my business on sewing and crochet. Like I said, this video is about how to find markets if you want to do that for your craft or small business. And a good first place to start is Facebook. If you go to that little magnifying glass at the top in the search bar and put in markets and put in your city. So for example, I put markets in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and then it'll come up a bunch of events in the events area, a bunch of markets happening. And this is just the market happening, like for people to come to the market. It's not really where you apply for the market, but you can look to see what kind of markets are happening in your area and write down who's holding the markets. So get like a pen and paper, write down all the ones that seem interesting, what locations they're being held at, and then do your research. You can look up their website, you can look up their Instagram, and a lot of the times if you go to their website, they'll have a vendor application on there that you can fill out. If you don't find an application, you can message them through email if you find that, or even give them a call and say, hey, I'm a vendor, I'm interested in doing markets with you, and they'll let you know what they require and what their process is. Here's an example of doing a search in Facebook. I searched markets near me or markets in my city. Then these events come up, and you can look through the markets, click on them, see which ones you're interested in. Like I mentioned, Instagram, that's another one that you can do the same thing. Go to the search bar, type in markets in your city, and then the markets that they're holding will come up, and do your research. Or go to their Instagram page, and a lot of times the links there will send you directly to a vendor application or give you an option for a vendor application, or you can DM them and ask them about what their process is. One thing I found on Instagram that we have in my area is market groups, where there's a few women where they run markets at many locations here in my city, and you join that group, and there's like a small fee to join. You fill out an application, and then once you're in that group, they send out group chats about all the markets they're holding for the month, or they'll send it like the month before. So if it's March now, they'll send out April's right now and say, these are all the markets that we're going to have for April. They'll tell you the location, what the fee is, the time, and then you just write back in the group chat saying, I'm interested in these dates. And then they'll let you know. You don't always get into every single one because they don't want a lot of people selling the same stuff, but they are fair, and you'll definitely get into a couple. They usually have like between 4 and 7 per month that you get the option to choose from. Here we are on Instagram. Sorry, I'm not sure why the whole thing isn't showing up. I'll have to figure out how to do that, but I'm searching for markets near me and going to the images or accounts, and you'll see pictures. It's usually the advertisements for markets or other vendors who are advertising a market they're going to be a part of, and you can click on those. Do a search for markets in your city. That might be a little easier, a little more specific. Let's see what comes up. Yep, and look through. Sometimes You can just look at counts and the names. If they have the name word market in it, it'll come up. But we'll look through here. There's one, a pop-up at a shop. I see some at brewery, some that I participated in. But yeah, write down the ones that look good. Then I'm going to search market vendor, see if anything comes up. I don't think I've searched that before. Let's see. Yep, basically the same thing comes up. I actually do see the group, a video from the group. So you might be able to look through there and find a group near you. This is one that I've done before. It's an awesome farmer's market. But yeah, just keep looking through. Click on the photos, the videos. Eventbrite.com, which is the same thing. You'll go in there, you'll search markets in your area, and that's just a list of events that are happening in your city. But you're going to do the same thing, see what markets you can find, and then go write them down, go to their websites directly and see if they have any information about vending or phone number or email that you can contact them with. There's another website called eventenvy.com, and that one has events, but it also has markets that vendors can sign up for. The coordinators use that website to say, hey, we're looking for vendors. These are the markets that we're holding, and you can sign up directly through eventenvy.com for those markets. And I think I got cut off, but this is eventbrite.com, and it will tell you market events. Again, you search in your city and type in markets, and then you'll see the market events coming up in your area. And this is eventenvy.com. Search city markets, and here are the market events coming up. Like I said, sometimes this one you can apply directly through this site. There are also a lot of places that you can just look for yourself, like breweries. All the breweries around here in my area always have markets, and you can look up local breweries, go to their website, and almost all of them have a vendor application on there, or information of who to email if you want to be a vendor. And schools, elementary, middle, high schools, they're always throwing a couple craft shows a month, and they also have information on their website, or they have information on the Facebook page if you just look up their school information. And coffee shops a lot of times have pop-up markets also. If you find some coffee shops in your area, then I would search on Instagram, or even the breweries, search on Instagram their exact name, and then you can go to the link. I feel like an easy place to find breweries is Instagram. Just type in brewery and a bunch of names will come up, and they're most likely ones located near you. Or you can, search breweries in your city or area and then look through the images, see which ones are close to you. Here's one in my city that has a market. I think it's one that's already passed, but I'll click on the link and see if I can go to their site. This looks like just their shop. We might have to do some searching around. But I'll go directly, let's see, go to the drop-down menu, see if there's anything. Go to their website, and there's events, and I'll go to events calendar, and then there's some stuff. There's some markets that they're holding, so they do have markets here. Let's see, if I go all the way down, there is vendor inquiry. Let's click on that. Yep, and there is where you fill out the application to become a vendor. So another great place when you finally do get to do your first market is the market itself and talking to the other vendors. The first market I did here, it was dead. I have absolutely no sales, but there were a lot of other vendors there, and I went around and asked them, hey, do you know of any other markets in this area? And that's actually how I found out about that market group on Instagram. But yeah, they tell you a lot of information. If they've done markets a lot in this area, they'll be able to tell you which ones are good, which ones are not so great. But it really depends on what you're selling. Now that I've done so many markets in the area, I actually get emails from people all the time asking me if I want to participate in their market. and I'll get emails from like campsites or pool areas or even neighborhood communities, or events happening down, like we live by the ocean, events happening at the ocean front, places that I didn't even know would throw markets. Then they send me an email asking me if I'd like to participate. So somehow after doing markets, your information might get out there, and then you'll have people contacting you. So there's a lot of opportunities to find markets. I would recommend doing your first market if you can find a free one, or sometimes if the location is holding a market for the first time, they won't charge any fee. We have a couple breweries here that don't charge a fee to be in their market, and I always make a great profit still. But find a free one or a cheap one. I think the cheapest in my area is like $25. That way, you know, you're not spending a lot of money on your first market, and you can go there and, you know, figure out stuff, figure out what other stuff you need for your market, you know, so you're not so nervous, or you're not spending too much money on your first time. But yeah, before you start filling out vendor application, just be prepared when you fill out the application. They are going to ask for an email to contact you, and it'd be good if you had an email with your business name, and you can set up an email like that for free. And then they are going to ask you for your social media, because they'll probably take a look at that. And then they are going to ask for photos of your product. A lot of them ask to send like 5 photos of your products, your different things that you make. And then 95% of them is going to require for you to have your own tent and table and chair. And they'll ask you what your setup is or how big your setup is. They'll have like options for different sizes, like 6x6, 6x8, or 10x10. 10x10 is usually the biggest setup that you can have. But yeah, I would just have all that ready, just so when you go fill out the application, you're not like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. But yeah, have everything ready after you do your research, write down all the stuff, figure out which vendor applications you want to fill out, have everything prepared, what photos that you want to send in, and yeah, start filling out some applications. I think that's everything I know on how to find markets, or what I did to find markets in my area. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. If you like videos about crocheting or sewing and like to watch videos while you're crocheting like most of us do, please subscribe. This is my first video, but I plan on making a lot more. I'm in the process of moving and traveling for work, so I will be making some videos about crocheting in different places, hopefully some cool locations. Follow me on my Instagram at Stitch of My Dreams. I post a lot more on there. I post about what I'm making, some funny reels, some crochet tips and sewing tips. I also have a Facebook and a TikTok. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope to see you back for the next one. Bye for now.